In the last video, I talked about boredom, why we feel bored, and one of the things I talked about was how we spend a lot of time either engaged in some form of entertainment or looking for something to entertain us. And it would seem that many of us have become so dependent upon these various external sources of entertainment that when they're not available to us, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Now, I talked about how we can use this time to practice mindfulness, to simply be present in the moment. And I don't mean to suggest that when we have nothing to do that we simply do nothing at all. Certainly there is value in that, but there's also another option, and that is to tap into our own creativity. Rather than relying on someone or something else to entertain us, we can become the source of our own entertainment. Now, some people will say that they don't have any creativity, and I would say that we all have some natural creativity, but perhaps it's been a long time since we've expressed it, or perhaps we've never really explored it fully. But if we find ourselves with nothing to do, this can be a wonderful opportunity to open up to that creativity within us and to allow it to come forth. And creativity we may tend to think of in a very limited context, such as painting or playing music. And while it certainly includes these kinds of artistic expression, it's much bigger than that. Creativity can include any number of productive or constructive activities. We can use creativity to build something. We can use creativity to plant a garden or prepare a meal or to learn some new and useful skill. We can learn how to sew or work with wood or any number of things. It doesn't have to take any specific form. It just has to start with an idea, arising as inspiration. The inspiration to create, to innovate, to solve some problem or improve upon something, or simply the inspiration to express oneself, to express one's emotions, to express some idea, to express some vision. So how do we tap into that inspiration, that creativity? Well, it's not something that we can force. That's not how it works. Inspiration has to arise naturally and spontaneously, and creativity is often stifled by overthinking, by making too much of an exerted effort. Really, it needs to arise out of a relaxed state of mind, out of clarity, out of a clear space. And for that, we come back to mindfulness. The best ideas come from that space of stillness and silence. Solutions to problems arise from that space. Inspiration and creativity arise from that space. So instead of thinking, what can I do? What can I create? What skills do I have? What are my talents? Instead, to just open up to that stillness within, to just allow oneself to be present in the here and now. And out of that spaciousness, inspiration will come naturally. Creativity will come naturally and effortlessly, all on its own. And all you have to do is listen and follow its lead. And it may not come immediately, so you have to be patient. If you're thinking, where is this inspiration? Where is this creativity? When is it going to show up? It's this kind of thinking that gets in the way. You have to forget about it. If it comes, it comes, but you have to be relaxed. Another thing I often hear people say is, I'm not very good at whatever it is that they want to do. I'm not a very good painter. I'm not a very good dancer. I'm not a very good writer. But it's not about being good at something. It's about the enjoyment of it. You look at children when they paint, for example. If you were to judge their work based on the common standards of art, you might think that it's terrible. But when you look at these children, they don't care. They're not concerned with that at all. They're having fun. They're enjoying it. They're playing. They're engaged. They're happy. And that's the whole point, just to have fun with it, to be fully engaged in whatever it is that you're doing, and to enjoy the experience, to be present with the process, not caught up in thinking about how accurate it is or how it's going to turn out. There should be no concern at all with how it's going to turn out. When you dance or play a piece of music, it's not about getting to the end of it. It's about being in the moment, enjoying each step, each note, each beat in the rhythm. If it were about finishing it, then why even begin? What would be the point? So, whatever you might feel inspired to create or express, just to be absorbed in it, enjoy the process, have fun with it. I think that perhaps much of our boredom comes from not expressing ourselves creatively. We have all these things to entertain us, but we're not really actively engaged in anything. Someone else writes the story, someone else sings the song, someone else paints the picture. And all we do is watch or listen, but we're not involved in the process. And the process is often the most fulfilling part. So tap into your creativity. Write your own story, or write a poem, or a song, or a piece of music, or create your own picture, or build something. It really doesn't matter what it is. There are so many forms of creative expression. There is something for everyone. You just have to get quiet enough to hear it. You just have to clear a space for it to arise within. And when it does, just flow with it. Allow it to carry you, and enjoy the journey. If you find value in this content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.